All right, it's good to be here. You are all welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. If you have joined us, um, let us know in the comment section where you're joining us from. Just type in the comment section. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. It'll be very good to know where you're joining us from. It's great to have you. Okay. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. It's going to be very interesting time that we're going to have here in this masterclass. And just to give you a brief about what this is about, this masterclass is to educate all the participants on how to leverage data skills to transition into high growth sectors, increase your earning power, have high earning power with good skills and achieve, be on your way to financial freedom and secure high paying roles. And I'm, careful to use the word financial freedom. I'm going to explain why, because a job doesn't give you financial freedom, but it starts with a high income skill. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. But you're welcome once again. You're welcome. You're welcome. Um, and in this masterclass, I'm going to be tying it from, okay, why you should have a high income skill, even though that is not going to give you immediate financial freedom, but it starts with that. And I'm just going to go right into what I have for us here, straight up. And we are going to be seeing a diagram on the screen. And as you can see here, you can see high income skills, and you can see scalable businesses, and you can see high return investments. And where you want to be at later stages of your life is you want to get to a point where you have enough money to invest, not just to survive, right? That is where a lot of us want. Some people may choose the path of having businesses. As I said, it's not everybody is cut out for business, and not everybody is cut out for a job. Some just like to start from business direct to investment. We have more people, having going through the career job route, to now eventually have enough money to start investing so that they can their money can work for them while they are not actively working. That is where the passive income comes in. So, but the end goal is to go to the point where you have high return investment, where your money is working for you, not you are not the one working for time. But for a start, everyone has to start from somewhere, right? And that is why high income skills seems to be the place where many people start from. Some start from scalable businesses, but many people start from having a job. But I'll say having a job is different from having an high income skill. And I'm going to go into that because, for example, I have a job as an administrative assistant. There's really no high income skill in that apart from you being an admin, having an administrative skill, which you should have at some point in your life, right? How does that separate you from every other person? So a job is just like a box, a container where your high income skill functioning. But a lot of I can have an administrative skill working as an administrative assistant, and I can have a data engineering skill. That is an high income skill because that gives you the opportunity to leverage that skill to provide solutions to companies, and you get high returns on that. And that is why I had to show this is where triangle, because high income skills is where most people will start from. And I'm going to be tying it to where it comes to in form of data, right? And when we look at the data industry, let me just put this down. So when we look at the data industry, for example, the data industry is such that it's very interesting. I'm going to start with a personal story, right? I'll just start with a personal story. I hope you can still see my screen. Let me be sure of that. I hope you can see my screen. Okay, I think I'm getting feedback. Okay, so let's just continue. So when we look at the data industry, for example, so before I go into the data industry, let me just give a background about myself. So I started out as should I call it a product owner. Yeah, this was many years ago. So I started out as a product owner. Uh, this was many years ago, about a good number of years ago, almost a decade ago. And at some points, I pivoted into data. Just as some of you already have your career, you started out. I know some of you here listening to me are just starting out in your career, but I know also some of us listening to me, you already have your career, you have something you are doing as a job, but you are interested in pivoting into a tech role, specifically the data industry. So that was what happened to me. I didn't start out, in data directly. So I started out as a product owner. But at some point, I saw that okay, this data back then it was called big data, that was a cool word to use then. Now it's AI, generative AI, and all of that. But big buzzwords come and go. And um, back then, I decided, okay, I need to look for a sector, an industry that is futuristic, is going to increase in value more and more as the days go, as the days come, right? It's going to increase in value more and more. And so I decided to choose the data industry. And I remember back then, I started out as a as an instructor, right? Where I learned something, and what I learned, I taught people. I learned something, I taught people. I learned something, I taught people. And one of the things that really helped me to do was that it helped me to come to the place of confidence of what I've already learned. Because if you learn something that you can teach people to now use that skill for something, then you are sure you know what you're doing. So I started out in that. Then I went to consulting where I learned a whole lot of stuff like stakeholder management, um, you know, very interesting environment where you have to deal with different domain knowledge. So another thing you're going to learn here is it's not just enough to learn the tools and the technical skills. Domain knowledge are very important. Domain knowledge are very important. Just give me a minute. Okay. Yeah. So I'm back. Add something to quickly take care of. Yeah. So as I was saying, um, you know, being so joining the consulting, exposed me to data from different domains in different industry, and that's one of the things we are going to learn here, because you come to understand that it is not just enough to learn how to analyze data or how to do the ETLs, data engineering, data science, advanced analytics, and all of that. You also have to have subject matter expertise where you understand the data, the context of the data you are dealing with. That is very important. Let me not run ahead of myself. So when I joined consulting, it was very interesting. You handle a project where it's in energy, then the next project is in finance, the next project is in FMCG or product basically. And consulting is a very good environment. If you're in the consulting space, you learn a whole lot in a very short time. But that's just a bit of my background, and went into finance. Now I'm in blockchain, which is my niche, which is where I've chosen to be, because that is also something I see very futuristic, where the future of finance is going to Web3 space, decentralized finance and all of that. So why so why is there so much demand for data professionals in any sector now? And the reason why is because if you don't know, there is a lot of demand. Now, let me say that there's a lot of demand for data professionals in every and any industry. And I'm going to explain why. The reason why is because um, for a lot of high growth sectors like fintech, e-commerce, retail, healthcare or health tech, agri-tech, ed tech, education technology, all of these are high growth sectors being powered by technology, enabled by technology. That's why I call fintech, ed tech, right? And these are high growth sectors, um, they are niches in themselves. But the reason why they are high growth is because technology is powering every industry now. And I saw somewhere somebody said technology is no longer an industry. Actually, you should not say technology industry. Technology is in every industry. So technology is actually an enabler of industries. So there's not like the tech industry. No, it's fintech or ed tech or health tech. There's nothing like tech, because tech is not useful in its own for itself. It has to attach itself to make it effective, to bring the value it's meant to bring. So for the fintech, all of these are high growth because they are internet based, they are digital based, and every activity from these industries, such as fintech, e-commerce, health tech, agri-tech, education technology industries, right? Many of them are, they are in the internet, the what we call the 4.0. That's the industrialization 4.0. I'm trying to remember the word now, but where AI is powering a lot of things. Data is being generated in a lot of industries, right? Let me just try to bring the words down. Let me not use big words so that's to help people. Now, data is being generated by every activity performed in each of these industries. For example, the fintech space, financial technology, that's what fintech is, right? Every of the transaction you do now, you hardly go to the physical bank to collect money. You use the phone on the app, you know, you make transactions. All of these are generating financial data, a massive ton of financial data that needs to be analyzed. And I'm going to tell you why. And this is, why that needs to be. So why do we need to analyze some of this data? Not even some, whole, is because businesses need to be competitive and they need to really understand their business, understand their industry, understand their activity. And one of the places where they get that value from is in their data, whether data generated by their company or in their industry as a whole or on the internet generally. They need to make sense of things to be competitive. So they are able to make informed decisions, data-driven decisions. So you can see that without data professionals, companies can make data-driven decisions. And to be able to arrive at data-driven decisions, there's a whole stack of roles in the data industry that makes that possible. And I'm going to be coming to that. And I'm very sure that by the end of this session, you'll be able to understand the power of data. You will to make this decision to, okay, I think I want to navigate my career into data now, and you'll be able to position yourself for more better opportunities. So when we look at let me look at the fintech now, for example, before I go into the different roles. Let's look at the fintech space. One of the growth drivers for the fintech is what is one of the things that is driving expansion in the fintech space. People need financial services, mobile banking, innovative payment solutions, especially in emerging markets like Africa, the global south, as they say. All of these are what is powering the data generated in each of these industries. Mobile banking, digital financial services, they generate data. And I need to re-emphasize this again so that people understand why is there so much demand for data professionals now more than ever before, and why will there be so much more demand for data professionals than now. Because you see, more and more of our activity are going online. People are, if you want to be competitive, if you want to be effective as a business person, you need to have you need to put your business on the internet. And much more than ever before, you can almost not do anything without being online. You can almost not do anything now. So you can see that every activity that we perform individually or as a business, you create digital footprints. So all of these are what is driving the need for data professionals, because when we have digital activities on the internet, have digital footprints, these are the things that generate data that businesses need to analyze to make sense of, right? So for example, one of the growth drivers for the e-commerce is a lot of people, you shop online more than now. Hardly are those days people go to the market to buy things. Now you just want to sit in your house, click on the e-commerce app, order, and they bring it to your house. So you see that all of those transactions, all of those online stuff, they make it they generate data that needs to be analyzed. E-commerce data, right? That's an industry. Another industry is the blockchain where I am, Web3 space. So there's the promise of decentralized application, enhanced security. People want to move from legacy finance and move into more decentralized financial system. And there's a lot of data generated in that education, technology, energy, and all of these industries. These are high growth sectors, and they need data analysts to be able to what, not just data analysts, they need data professionals to be able to make sense of this data. Now, why now? Why are data professionals needed now? Which is what I wanted to go to earlier. You see, businesses now generated and store vast amount of data. Which is creating demand for professionals that know how to handle this data to unlock value from this data for businesses to unlock insight from this data for businesses to make informed decisions from, which is to create value for the business, right? Another reason why data skills and data professionals are needed now more than ever before is remote work, global outsourcing make data roles accessible beyond traditional tech jobs. So they are traditional tech jobs, but you see, the data roles now are evolving, and data roles are more remote friendly. Yes, they are more remote friendly than some other data roles. Yes, not that some other tech roles are not remote friendly, but data roles are also very remote friendly. So those are one of the things that is um driving the demand, why a lot of people, companies are needing data professionals to analyze their data, and they don't mind if they get these professionals from far away. For looking at the remote work option, for example, now, many companies in maybe North America might prefer to hire from maybe the global south like India or Africa because of cheap labor. So you see, there's a lot of opportunity for people to earn across borders by learning these skills, and this is why we are talking about this. Um, um, Data professionals are essential. Now, let me go into what I want to talk about today. Data professionals are essential because they help businesses make informed decisions based on facts. So they look at the facts from the data and they are not just guessing. So in simple terms, everything we do online, shopping, browsing, we create data. And as I've said before, all of this activity creates what we call the digital footprint. Now, the data professionals take all of this information, they clean it up, turn it into useful insights. Um, for businesses, these insights can show things like when data professionals clean this data up, turn them into useful insight. Businesses may want to know, okay, what products are most popular in our products based on customer behavior. That question alone itself needs to be answered with data. It's not just something you can just guess, you see. So to be able to get all of that data and insights, you need the data engineer to bring all the data from different sources. You need the analytics engineer, which I'm still going to come into the different data roles that we have. I'm still going to come into that. You need the data scientists to do some advanced analytics to understand, maybe do some predictive analytics to predict some of the things that may happen based on how we have understand previous patterns in the data that we have. Now, without data professionals, businesses we have to make decisions without knowing what's really happening. That's the truth. And this can lead to poor choices and missed opportunities, a lot of missed opportunities. And data professionals, they help to turn raw numbers into clear, actionable strategies that drive growth. They improve efficiency and they create better experiences for both the business and the customers. You see, so there are some stats in Africa, for example. The demand for data skills is growing rapidly. According to DevSkiller, I'm trying to quote the stats now. According to DevSkiller, the need for data talent increased by 296% last year alone. That was 2023. The need for data professionals, the need for data skills in Africa increased rapidly. And why is that? It's because that is more than some already established economies. The reason for that is because many African countries now, their economy is expanding rapidly, even though they may still be at some point underdeveloped or not as developed as developed countries. So that means there's a lot of room for growth, and because this growth is happening at an exponential rate, at least this growth is happening, but we not call it exponential, but it's really happening. The growth is happening. We have to see the good in the economies that we are, where uh, we are in. And a lot of these economies are growing. That means new businesses are coming up. And as new businesses are coming up, they are more mobile friendly, they are more internet friendly than ever before, because they are having to leverage the internet to be able to, create value. And because all of those new businesses are coming up, the demand for data professionals to help these businesses to make sense of their data is increasing rapidly. So you can see that why that 296% metric was recorded for last year, the need for data skills, right? And this surge is driven by sectors like healthcare, education, businesses, and all of that. Globally, when you look at US labor statistics, the project is 36% growth in data employment from 2023 to 2033. That's the 10 years period. And that's much faster than the average for all occupations. All. Can you see that? So that means that as we go into the end of the decade, there will be more need for data professionals, because more than ever before, we are becoming more immersed. The internet is becoming more immersive, where we are going from the 2D internet to the augmented internet. That basically means that there'll be more data. There'll be more data, and there'll be more data, and there'll be more data professionals to make sense of it. Can you see that? So these are many of the reasons why data skills are needed and are increasingly needed, and professionals that have those skills will be hot cake, right? They'll be hot cake, and that means that they are going to be increasing their earnings, because when you have a skill that is highly in demand, and there are not enough people, where the demand, where the supply is not meeting the demand, that means that that commodity is going to be very expensive. Just basic economics. When demand, or how did they put it, when supply is not meeting demand, right? That supply is going to be expensive because it is not meeting the demand. That is just the case for many of the professionals that we are seeing in a data space. And this brings me back to the diagram you are seeing here. This brings me back to the diagram you are seeing here, which is your high income skills help you to be able to earn enough, so that at some point in your life you are able to you are able to uh, um you are able to earn more money to to save. You're able to earn more money to do whatever you want to do, but at least have enough money where at some point in your life you can start investing. That is the point. And these skills give you that opportunity. They give you that leverage to be able to to invest. And at some point in your life you are able to make investment that now give you the financial freedom that you need. So this is why we call, we are the data industry is an high income skill industry, and anybody that has that skill, is in for it. Anyone that has that skill is really in for it. This now brings me to talking more about, okay, before I go into that, let me just talk about this before I go into the data rules. Now, somebody might be asking, okay, so how do I start in? How do I come into this? How do I take advantage of this opportunity? The first step is to identify your current skills and the current gaps that you have. So you have to do some sort of self-assessment. You have to do some sort of self-assessment. So for example, just hold on. So for example, you take stock of your current skills and strengths. You ask yourself, what am I good at? Right? You ask yourself, what am I good at? How do my existing skills, so let me just put this on the screen so that it will be easy for us to see. So you ask yourself, what am I good at? How do my existing skills, even from non-tech roles, how did they apply to data? So because you have to do some sort of self-assessments, which is very, very important. You do some sort of self-assessment. You look at sorry about that. So you look at wherever you are now. Probably um you are a customer representative, or maybe you're an accountant, right? Or probably you are somebody, maybe you're a facility manager. I'm trying to use non-tech roles. Let's say you're a facility manager and you're always presented with complex problems. You have many things that you need to think about, or maybe you are even a plumber, you know, very non-tech roles, non-tech related roles. You're a plumber or you're a facility manager, and you are always presented with complex problems every day, and you have learned the skill of how to break down complex problems into smaller bits. Then you know how to simplify complex problems so that it's easy to be solved. That's a very great skill that data engineers have. Data engineers, and I'm going to go into the different roles we have in data. See, you're an accountant, you are good with numbers, wonderful. It's just easy for you to just go into data analytics or data science. Or you're a customer support person, you are very resilient. You need that resilience when you're doing data engineering. So there are transferable skills that you already have. I'm very sure of that. But there are also gaps. You need to identify all of those things. Now, this now brings me to the different roles that we have in data, which I just want to show us something that's I had worked on. So when we look at the screen, and I hope it's visible enough. I just try not to show my head. Over the years, we used to have database architect or database people, but now we are in a time where roles are evolving. Even in the data space, roles are evolving. So I'm just going to go through what I have here. The blue ones are the more common ones, and the rows in gray or dark gray is they are not as common as the ones in blue, but they exist. And the one in yellow is is also popular, but not all companies will need a machine learning engineer. And I will just explain why. And when we look at it, for example, we have the business analyst. There are different business, but business analyst that is data focused. These are the different roles we have in data, and the blue ones are the most common ones, or not just most common, most in demand. So because when you check job roles, for example, on LinkedIn, you see a lot of data analysts, data scientists, data engineer. You don't see as much analytics engineer roles as much as you see for data engineers or data analysts, right? You don't see as much data architects. Oh, I didn't spell that architects properly. So you don't see as much data architect roles as much as it's for data engineers or data analysts or data scientists. So that is why I had to color code them. So when we look at the business analyst, for example, the business analysts analyze business needs and translate them into data requirements. They collaborate with data analysts and engineers to deliver insights, right? The key skills these people have is their business acumen. So because they are business analysts, they must have a very high business acumen. One, they must understand the business more than every other role because they have more context about the business. So when we talk about data, data is what businesses generate, but data is contextual in the sense that it is um there are different domains of data, right, based on the industry. So if you are in the fintech industry, you are dealing with financial data. If you are in the edtech industry, you are dealing with education data. If you are the e-commerce industry, right, you are dealing with financial data, product data and all that. If you are in the energy industry, you are dealing with energy data. So that means if you are going to be a data analyst in the energy industry, you must have understanding of the energy industry. But let's just start with the business analyst. So the business analyst must have, most times you see that they ask that, okay, maybe if it is the energy industry, let's say a business analyst job for Total Energies now, Total Energies, right? Most times they will require that you have some experience, in the energy industry, or maybe you have a degree that has to do with energy so that you understand the sector, not just data alone. You understand the sector itself before you can now analyze or maybe interpret data from that sector. Can you see that? So that is very important. Tools they use business intelligence or data visualization tools like Excel, Metabase, Power BI to interpret data that the data analysts have already created. So they are very excellent at interpreting visualizations so that they can now help business stakeholders, managers to now make informed decisions. So they are good at interpreting insights from data for business decisions. When we look at the next one is the data analyst. They analyze data to identify trends, patterns, insight. They prepare reports, dashboards, and they support decision making. So they are good. Their key skills are statistical analysis, data visualization. They must be good with SQL. You must be good with SQL, Excel, data mining, business acumen, and some Python, right? You should have some Python, how to use Python, but SQL generally you must have a very good grasp of the SQL. The tools they use Tableau, Power BI, SQL, Python, and R. And I might not go too deep to explain all of this, but I'll talk more into that subsequently. When we look at the data scientists, they also do the same thing that analysts do, but in a more advanced way, right? They develop and apply advanced statistical and machine learning techniques to solve business problems. They build predictive models. So while the data analyst analyzes data, the data scientists to analyze data, but they use more sophisticated means, and they may also need to build what we call predictive models, machine learning models. They use machine learning models to perform advanced analytics, and they use tools like Python heavily, Python, R, scikit-learn, TensorFlow, PyTorch. The machine learning engineer, not all businesses will need machine learning engineer, actually, depending on the uniqueness of that business. But machine learning engineers will research, develop, and deploy machine learning models into production systems. So key skills they must have are machine learning algorithm optimization, model development, MLOps, and all of that. When we look at the analytics engineer is more like a new role. So the analytics engineer is in between the data analyst and the data engineer. So they build and maintain data pipelines like the data engineer, and they support business analytics. So they take some part of data engineering and some part of data analyst, and they combine, and the new role came up. And that is why we have a new role called the analytics engineer. They must be very good with SQL, Python, data. Where their strength is, where their work is mostly in data modeling and ETL, ELT. And they also do some machine learning and all of that. So it's more like a recently cut out role in a modern data team. One of the popular tools that analytics engineers must have, they must know how to use DBT, data build to Snowflake data warehousing is more of like a modern intuitive data warehouse. AWS, Apache Airflow for scheduling their data jobs, pipeline, and all of that. Python libraries, pandas, and all of that. Yes. For the data architects, it's look a bit similar to the analytics engineer, but the design implements data architecture for an organization. So you will discover that not all companies should have all of these skills or all of these rules, right? Some companies just have data engineer that perform the work of an analytics engineer, perform the work of a data architect, and some companies have data scientists or data analysts that perform the work of a business analyst, data analyst, and data scientist. But all of these roles a quarter, especially in startup environment, you will naturally not see all of these roles. You will see where people are wearing multiple hats, which is what is expected because it's a startup environment. But in the large corporations, you see that they can have all of these roles more specifically stated out. So these are many of the roles that we have in a modern data team, and it's just very interesting to see that more roles will come up. Imagine when we have the augmented internet, more and more roles are going to come up, more data roles are going to come up. And I just thought to share this, to everyone. And when you are starting out in the data space, one of the things that really helps you now, one of the things that will really help you is the power of consistency. Because I know I've mentioned a lot of things about the data role, and somebody's asking, oh, how am I going to start? Oh, where will I start from? Where will I start from? You see, one of the things I'm just going to say is when you start learning, practice, and what? Practice. You need to practice. Let me put it up for you here so that it sinks in. You practice, and you practice. It's very, very important. You just have to what? Practice. Because whatever you are learning, whether it is in data or it is not even in the tech role, if you don't practice, you don't go anywhere. You don't make any progress. That's the truth. So you practice whatever you are learning, not just to watch videos and watch videos, because I've discovered that a lot of people, when they are learning stuff, they can watch videos for a whole year, but they are not confident of the skill they've acquired. So when they have a project before them, they just wonder, oh, where am I going to start from? All the things I've learned, oh, where will I apply it from? How will I apply it? You see, that is why I'm more biased towards project-based learning. Project-based learning basically means learning to do a project based on what you have learned. That's what develops your confidence in whatever you have, and that's what develops your confidence in whatever you've learned. So, and by doing that, by practicing, it helps you to build it helps you to build confidence. But one of the things that really helps you also, um, one of the things that really helps you to go fast in your career journey, especially in the data space, is the power of mentorship and the power of community. And someone recently, the last podcast we had, my guest mentioned something. He said, "A mentor gives you depth, community gives you breadth." And when he said it, I said, "I'm going to catch this. I'm going to use this phrase." I like the phrase, and it's actually very true. You see, mentorship is very key. It helps you to not make mistakes that others make. It helps you to learn from the mistake of other people so that you can move far and fast. Because the truth is, there's so much information on the internet now. If it was 20 years ago, getting information was the major thing. So you need to know where to get information. Once you get information, then you learn it, you increase in value. But now, information, you are being bombarded with information more than ever before. Everywhere on the airspace, on the internet space, there's information. The skill you now need to learn is not to how to find information, but how to filter for the right information. Let me say that again. The skill you need to learn now is not to know, okay, where do I find what to learn? No, there's a lot of things to learn. But I can assure you there are many rubbish things out there that will not help you. You just keep watching videos, but you will not learn anything. And it's painful. You see, there are many YouTube videos that are out there that, come and learn this, come and learn that, learn data, learn this, learn that. And at the end of the day, you've wasted money, you've wasted time, but you are not confident of whatever you have learned. Can you see that? So many approaches to learning are ineffective. So knowing the right information to learn is what is now the skill you need to have. And that is why we are doing this. This is why we are doing this, to help you, to guide you. So we have a community where we help people, guide people, mentor people in people that are starting out in their career or pivoting to data space. We mentor them in this data journey on how to choose the right role. Do you want to go into data engineering? Do you want to go into data analyst, as we've shown here? Or you want to be a data scientist? We tell you all that is at stakes, how you all the parts that need to, how you can approach it. So mentorship gives you depth and community gives you breadth. It helps you to be able to um know how to learn, know what to learn, filter out the rubbish, even though they are still information, but they are rubbish information that will waste your time and will never make you valuable, right? So information filtering is a skill everyone must learn. Knowing the right information to learn and not learning the wrong information so that you don't waste your time. So, and that is what mentorship does for you. You learn from the experience, wealth of experience of those that have gone ahead, and community. Another thing I'm going to emphasize about community is, you see, because what we learn now is online. A lot of people may not have the discipline to learn on their own. I mean, when I started out, I was learning on my own, self-paced learning. It was very hard and boring. I will say that. I'm very sincere. It was very hard and boring. So you really want to be in a community where you have like minds learning together, you are attacking those challenges together. When you meet challenges while in your learning journey, it's easy for you to be able to overcome it because you have people that you're learning together. You have mentors in those communities that can guide you. And it's just a beautiful approach to learning now more than ever before. It's just a beautiful approach to learning more than ever before. And that brings me uh, so the last thing I'm just going to say is, get mentorship and join community. Get mentorship and join community. I'm just going to say that again. Get mentorship and join community. And if you are interested in learning, which is, we have a suite of courses. If you want to be a data analyst, a data engineer, or a data scientist, we have a suite of courses. So let me try and show our sites. Let me just see. So if you go to our website now, on credlin.com, this is our website. We have a suite of courses where you can learn from. We have the data engineering, data analytics program, the Web3 program. Yes, we have Web3 data analytics, where you learn how to analyze Web3 data and all of that. So we have all of this information on our site. But for the sake of this course, the way we are approaching it is we want okay, so the just hold on. So let me just add this presentation back so that it's able to show. Yes, excellent. So we want you to be able to just trying to just give me a minute to show us. Yeah. So if you click this particular form here, what we have here is once you fill this form, if you're interested in learning data, maybe data analytics, or you want to be a data analyst, or a data engineer, a data scientist, right? For the sake of this particular course, if you click the link, just type this on your browser, right? It takes you to a Google form where you fill, and also now redirects you to the Telegram community we have. The reason I'm saying you should go through this route is once you go through this route of the Google form, whatever course we have on ground for you, because you are going through this route, through this masterclass, you're getting a 10% discount on our courses. But if you have to go through the site that I showed you earlier, it's going to be a bit more expensive for you. So go through this route, type this in your browser, specifically in your browser, and it's case sensitive, so you have to do the I ending with data, the capital letter HEW and D as capital, so that the link is just going to go easily. So we have this for you, and once you do that, join once you fill the form, join the Telegram community. So let me just show us what the form looks like. So it's, when we look at the form here, so once you fill the form, This is the form. You are able to fill your name, your number specifically, preferably your Telegram number or WhatsApp, because we want to join the Telegram community, which is where we'll be sharing more of the information we have for you as regarding this opportunity. Your email address, your employment status, your career background. Are you just starting your career and interested in data, or you already have a career and you're pivoting, right? Which course are you interested in? And this last one is optional if you selected B in this place, right? So if you have a current, if you selected B here, that means that you have to answer. But if you selected A here, you don't have to fill this place, and you click submit. The moment you submit, you see this screen. Okay, it has gone back. So the moment you submit, you see the link to join the Telegram group, or you can also just click here and it takes you directly to our Telegram community. And once you join our Telegram community, you get more information, but we'll keep your information here. And this is to allow you to be able to enjoy the discount that we'll be having for you going forward. All right. So I would say welcome. It's an opportunity of a lifetime, and taking that step to change your life, to be able to come to the place where you have high income skills, and at the end of the day, you increase your earning power, so that at some point in your life you are able to make invest, right? It gives you that financial freedom. Jobs don't give you financial freedom, that's just the truth. But starting with a high income skilled job can be a good pathway to getting financial freedom, because it helps you to be able to have enough money to invest, and you may not really even have to do a business, right? Not everybody is going to be cut out to have a business. And if from a high income skill, you can even have a consulting business. So that is even another opportunity where you are very skilled in your work. Now you create a consulting gig from it, and you earn more money. At the end of the day, you're able to have enough money for investment, and your investment now starts giving you passive income or financial freedom. All right. So thank you very much for joining, and I'll see you next time.